I knew.
All right. How you doing, man?
Are we on?
We're on. We are live. We got the weekly rundown here. Welcome to Everything Comics. Of course, I'm your host, Bullseye Bob, and this is my co-host,
Bueller
from Comics with Bueller. How you doing today, man?
The two B's.
The two B's. The BB show.
Yeah, double B's.
Double B's. There you go.
Whatever.
Awesome. Well, I know you had an amazing weekend last weekend. You were at Comics Pro, and then you got to visit some family this week, and so
yeah, that was fun. That was a nice little. Went down there on Tuesday morning, and it's our family lake. It's been our family for generations, and my dad and stepmom live down there. My dad and stepmom live down there. My brother lives down there. My sister has a house down there. My uncle lives there, and a couple other family members as well. So
wow,
it's a private lake, and grew up there, so it's kind of nice to go back and hang out.
You had sent a picture via text, and it just looked beautiful where you're at.
It's even better in the summertime.
Oh, I bet it is.
So
I bet it is.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, definitely welcome back, man.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back.
Nice little breather.
For sure.
Got all my videos done on Monday. I was like, okay, I'm good. Let's just go down and relax for a couple of days.
There you go. And you deserve it, man, because you work hard. I can attest to that. So we got a couple people in the chat that have popped in. We got Two Gun Pedro. Pew, pew. How you doing, man? And we got William Smallwood. How's it going, guys? Thanks for popping in. And, of course, this is the weekly rundown where we get together and we talk about the latest in pop culture news, mainly comic book news. We'll try to focus on movie and TV stuff, but anything goes. It's whatever's hot at the time. And so we'll do this every Thursday. Made it on time, but as the last couple times being late, Bueller was right. He was right. And I definitely am cutting it way too close. And so next week, we'll have it at 5 o'clock. Is that okay with you, man?
Yeah, you got a real job, dude.
I know I got a real
job.
I do, but I have my reasons for trying to cut it this close. And so we'll definitely get into that, later.
Not my problem.
NWI Geek, how you doing, man? Thanks for popping in.
Hey, congratulations. I just looked 750 subscribers official.
Yes.
750.
Thank you.
Just a couple hundred more to go to the 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You're going to have to be doing some more live shows to get the watch time hours.
So yeah, for sure.
You'll be cranking them out here pretty soon. Every day he's live, there'll be nothing, just a blank picture. Something, I got to get something.
Exactly. I'll just put a picture of Hulk 181 up. That'll keep people glued for hours.
Yeah. But congratulations. I mean, when you think about it, you've only been doing it really for
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah. You've
got maybe a couple dozen videos on there, and the audience is really enjoying you. So congratulations to my good friend Bob. I knew adding him to my show was a big help, and now he's doing his own thing. People are enjoying it. So congratulations.
Appreciate that very much. Again, thank you for all the help that you've given me, and other people have mentioned me and given me shout outs on their shows as well. And this is the community that we're a part of, and I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much.
They seem to like you.
That's kind of weird, huh?
Here's the thing. I think you need a gimmick, though.
What's up?
I think you need a gimmick. I mean, I'm the gimmick guy. I got the hat, the glasses, the vest. I'm thinking like a bolo hat or something like that.
A bolo hat
or something. I think something.
Seriously. You don't think the comic book T-shirts are
the T-shirts are good. But I think you need. I was thinking maybe an eye patch, but I don't think you
an eye patch.
But, cowboy hat, something. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it for sure.
Always need a gimmick.
Absolutely. Love it. But yeah, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. I got to 750 really quick. I've already started to announce my giveaway for the 1,000 subscriber. The first piece is going to be that great poster that we got at the Image Comics executive signing, where we had 6 different creators that were there that day, and they had an exclusive poster that they made just for that signing, and all 6 of them signed it.
Yep.
And so that's my main prize that I'm going to be giving away.
I'm going to enter it because I want to win mine back.
There you go.
I gave mine away, so I don't have one. I'd like to have one.
The other thing that I'm pretty excited about, I talked to the band members from Ookla the Mock, and they're the guys that do the theme song for my Coffee and Comic show. And they're actually going to be sending me some CDs to be able to give away with the song on it.
Nice.
So that'll be part of the giveaway as well. And I might have a couple other things I'm kind of working it. It'll be a little bit before I actually get there. But hey, I'm gonna have some prizes. It'll be pretty cool. We got a couple more people that have hopped in the chat here. House till the end. How you doing? And Rob Boswell, how you doing, man?
Did you hear from Nick? Did Nick contact you?
Nick did contact me.
Nice. He got a little recognition from the key collector app designer himself, Nick,
which was pretty cool.
He messaged me and he asked me about you. And he's like, "How can I get in contact with Bob?" And I said, "I don't know." But he found out anyway. That's pretty good. It's a
mystery.
Congratulations.
He reached out to me and he basically thanked me for giving him fair representation. And I had to give him kudos because he does do an amazing job with that app. And so that was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome that happened. And so before we get into today's news, I do have a couple of announcements. Of course, we'll be doing this every Thursday. Do me a favor, guys. Leave a comment down in the comment section. What do you think about the show? What would you like to see in this particular forum going forward? Maybe a format, a difference. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. I'd like the feedback because, again, this is a live stream. This is a new type of show for me. And I appreciate your guys' comments and your feedback. And so if you could do that, I really appreciate it. Second thing is the new Coffee and Comic Show on the Comics with Bueller channel. This week is going to be an awesome topic. It's our top 10 lists. Good, the ones we give on YouTube. Are they good for comics? And I'm excited about it. I think it's a pretty amazing subject that we're going to get into.
It's a good one. I read a bunch of the comments, because I put myself out there. I was totally honest. I have a top 10 list. My friends have top 10 lists and stuff that and I told people to be brutally honest what their thoughts are. Mm-hmm. But I'm really looking forward to next week's question. And do you mind if I spill?
Yeah, go for it.
So the next week's question is, and you don't even know this.
I don't.
But next week's question is going to be, are mystery boxes a scam?
Oh, I just did an unboxing last night, man.
maybe not in that word, but the kind of thing, And like I said, I'm putting myself out there. I have a mystery box. I've sold thousands of them across the whole United States. Mm-hmm. So I'm up for it, and I'm okay with the scrutiny, and I'll give my opinions. The thing is, never asked me about my opinion about mystery boxes.
Interesting.
I think they're afraid to ask me, to be honest with you. And I have my own opinions on them, so I want to share it. So
awesome! I think it's a great subject, and I also think it's great that you're putting yourself in.
What are you gonna do? You got to be honest with yourself, and I'll be honest about mine and other people's as well. But this week we're focusing on the top 10 lists, if they really help or hurt collecting. And if you haven't watched that video yet, go watch the preview video and leave a comment about it, and that might make it on the coffee show on Monday. So.
Which should be awesome. Should be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. That's probably my favorite part of the week is when we get together for that show.
Probably got to call Tom again.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome stuff. And then also, we're going to be at Washington State SummerCon. That's going to be June 20th and the 21st at in Puyallup, Washington. It's going to be an amazing con. If you haven't checked out the website, go check out Washington State SummerCon. They got an amazing lineup there. We're going to be there along with some of the other Portland Comics crew, and it's going to be amazing. So love to see you guys there if you're going to be going. And I think that's it for the announcements. And man, we got to hop into some news. There's some huge news this week, right?
Yep.
So I know it happened. I think last Thursday.
It was Thursday. I was there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were at Comic Pro when it happened.
Yeah.
And that was actually news in and of itself. But as you all know, hopefully by now, Dan DiDio of DC, they're basically their CEO, he was considered co-publisher with Jim Lee for a while, but publisher of DC has been fired. Yeah. Right? I mean, the first news piece that I got said that he stepped down, but he's been fired. Yeah. And so pretty big news. What was that like at Comics Pro? I mean, I heard that DC was there and they walked out. Is that true?
I don't know how long they stuck around. They literally had a presentation like within an hour after that news dropped. They didn't know that dropped.
Right.
From what I understand, the people that were there representing DC had no clue that that was going to happen.
Right.
Their first response was, "We don't know. We're not going to talk about it," and they probably didn't. So I can't really say anything different. The main response I got from comic shop owners, that was the thing I was surprised. I mean, they were at least the ones that said something. They did not like him. They were not a big fan of this guy. He had been at Comics Pro events before with promises to these comic shops that never went through.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people did not like or don't like the aspect that Walmart is selling DC books. A lot of comic shops don't like that. Those giants, I guess, were somewhat promised to the comic shops. Instead, they went to the Walmart type thing.
Right.
So they weren't happy about that. And for the most part, at least the ones that said something, and you tend to hear people who are upset about something, those tend to be the people who speak more.
Right.
So that's what I was hearing. But they were like, yeah, that's been a long time coming. And they were happy that the guy is gone or been fired and whatnot. So
yeah, that's an interesting dynamic because depending on what part of the comics industry you talk to, there are people who were very upset about this. Yeah. And then there are people who were absolutely glad about it. And so I think that's kind of, the weird place that we're in with him being let go. You mentioned the Walmart issues. Mm-hmm. That was kind of his baby. I mean, when I heard about the pitch that he had when he went to Walmart, he brought his original 100-page comic books that he had from when he was a kid. And that was basically his pitch. I'd like to see these again. And, he did put them in the comic shops, but he did give Walmart an exclusive. Yeah, people got upset about that.
There was some promise made to the comic shops, and some of the comic shops at least had some ideas or input in that from years past. And this is kind of what I picked up. And then the input that they gave to him, he apparently used the input and went and put it towards Walmart and not the comic shops.
Interesting.
And that's kind of the deal I heard from a few different comic shops said that.
Right.
And, I don't know the huge details and exactly what they talk about because I wasn't privy to the information last year. I wasn't there. And I actually didn't sit in on the one this year because I was there as a vendor. I wasn't there as a retailer. So there had certain meetings were just for retailers. Mm-hmm. So us vendors would just wait outside the room, and the DC conference was for retailers.
Okay.
So I didn't have the information. They closed the door when that was going on. I saw it going on, and they immediately came and shut the door so everyone who was outside couldn't hear what was up. But I saw the thing on screen, DC Comics. And I was like, Oh my God, this is not going to be good. But I'm pretty sure that after that thing, they were gone. I did not see their round table because everybody had a round table.
Sure.
Marvel had a round table. Image, all the publishers, all the manufacturers, they all had round tables. I did not see DC's table, and they were on the list. So I'm pretty sure they took off. I could be wrong. It might have been in another room, but I looked pretty good. So
interesting. Well, like I said, the news said that, they were at Comics Pro. There were, besides, vendors that were there were also some people that were part of the media. Mm-hmm. And they were reporting on the fact that, those guys walked out at some point. Yeah. And so I think it was pretty.
I don't think it was the actual media itself. Mm-hmm. I think it was people reporting to them.
Probably.
They did not let media in there.
Okay.
That was the one thing that those things are closed events. And they actually had I told you this, but they had a problem with me going there.
That's right.
They mentioned me by name. The Comics Pro people were putting on an event. They said something to Max Pro Supplies. Hey, is this Bueller guy?
I love it.
There, and they're like, yeah, he's representing us. And they're like, he can't come here and do videos or nothing like that. That's not what it is. And I had to convince them to let me come and say, hey, I'm coming here for Max Pro. I'm not coming here to be a scoop or something like that.
Right.
So the information that was fed to like Bleeding Cool or whatnot, I think that was through somebody, probably, a friendly comic shop or whatever, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't like actual media there.
Right. Yeah, there was a couple other sources. It wasn't just Bleeding Cool because sometimes I got to wade through their stuff, but definitely, interesting stuff. And you heard it right here, folks. The Comics Pro event was actually threatened by our buddy here by reputation.
It was it's not really the things I do. That was the thing. I don't really do stuff like that.
No, you don't.
They were aware. I mean, they literally contacted Max Pro and said, "Hey, do you have that guy Bueller from Comics with Bueller coming with you to the thing?"
Right.
And they had to say, "Hey, here's the deal. This is why he's coming. You know, he's there for us." And I had to tell them, I said, "Hey, I'm there for Max Pro. I'm not there to scoop anything or whatnot." And they actually thanked us at the end of the show because they noticed, I mean, it came true. I mean, I wasn't there to do that type of thing. So
right.
It worked out. So I don't think there'll be any problem in the future, but I wasn't going to overstep my bounds in any way.
Sure.
So if it said retailers only, I wouldn't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Or there was a bunch of stuff that was given away for retailers and I didn't take anything. You know, I was like, that's for them. I don't want to jeopardize Max Pro.
Right.
So I was like, I wouldn't even think about it. So
you're a good man.
People ask me, "Oh, did you get a bunch of those exclusives?" And I didn't even take them. I didn't bother. I think I got Dynamite gave me one book. They were right next to us, so they said, "Here, have it." It wasn't exclusive. I gave it to you.
Yeah, you gave it to me.
But that was it. I didn't ask for nothing. I didn't want to put them in a position to where they were asked to leave. So I definitely didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I've already seen some of those books on eBay.
Yeah,
you know, being advertised. So
it's nice because those comic shops who pay money to go to this thing, because it's not free. I mean, you got to pay to be a part of the member of Comics Pro, and then you have to pay to go to this thing.
It's rather expensive too.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Plus, you know, some of the shops came from all over the world, Australia, the UK.
Mm-hmm.
They get these exclusives that are, you know, pretty spendy, and they can turn around and sell those and make the money back for what they paid for this trip. I mean, some of these exclusives go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they get their money back by those. So that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, yeah. Last year, I ended up getting the exclusive for Daredevil #1 that they gave at the Comics Pro event, which was pretty good. Let's check in with the chat and see who's here.
Yeah, Perry says Bueller didn't take free stuff. Yeah, right. I didn't, man. I didn't.
Oh, there we go. So we got a bunch of things I'm going to catch up on here just really quick.
Trust me, I got other stuff that's even cooler. I just showed Bob. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was blown away. I'm not gonna say anything. I already know better. Let's see.
Good stuff.
So we got the Comic Don. He's popped in. How you doing? And let's see. House to the End says a bolo hat like John Steed of the Avengers. Oh damn. I don't do mystery boxes, but the ones I have seen being unboxed, let's just say some are better than others. I would agree with that.
Yep.
And we'll definitely be getting into that subject on the show.
Yeah. You're going to have to wait, though. That's not until it's like more than a week away.
More than a week away.
But it's such a good topic.
For sure. I love
Especially
it. Especially
for me talking about it.
We got Jean-Claude Van Tom. How you doing, buddy? Hero and the Kid. How's it going? Good. Thank you for popping in.
For the record, I've only bought one mystery box. Nobody knows what it is.
Really?
Yeah, I've only bought one.
That's interesting.
I'll show it one thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I've bought 3. Right. And 2 of them I unboxed last night.
Yeah. Have you bought one of mine?
No.
Thanks a lot.
Let's see here. We got Perry Comics is here.
Free shipping, man.
I know, but I did buy off your auction.
Yeah, you
right?
did.
Yeah.
I think you sold it.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, Perry says, "Hey Bob, hey Dad, It's official. You're older than me."
Yeah.
So there it goes. Let's see here. We got Sean McCurdy. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. And Joe Terry. Good to see you, my man. Thank you guys for popping in. And let's see. We got Derek Magnus is here. How's it going? NWI Geek says DC canceled their publisher panel at C2E2 this weekend. I do not doubt it.
They're in disarray. Let's just say there's a lot of stuff. Let's go ahead and get into that.
Let's get into that.
That's kind of, we started off, we kind of went on the Comics Pro thing, but that's the main thing as we were talking about that Dan DiDio or whatever.
Dan DiDio. But here's the thing, right?
Rob Liefeld was right. The guy was right.
He was right.
He was right. He's freaking crazy, but he's right.
But he's right.
Love that guy. Love you. Feel free to unblock me anytime you want. Unblock me on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But bottom line is that in what's been going on, there are many rumors about this firing. there are so many different things flying about what happened, what was going on at DC. There's some people that talk about that they're completely depolarized. We'll get into another piece later on in the news. The whole 5G event that's coming up. People were up in arms about that. But it's kind of hard to sift through what's true and what's not true. A lot of it's speculation at this point. But let's just talk about some of those things. One of them is that, he was very, he didn't treat creators very good when he was there. And for people that were part of the whole New 52 and then Rebirth, he didn't give creators a lot of time to be able to get their stuff in, especially when they had new pitches. And there were some, famous, legendary creators that just were treated very badly. And some of their ideas were just pushed to the side because they didn't get them in on time. And things like that were going on. And so there's this rumor about how creators were treated. And then we have this other thing where obviously DiDio was courting other creators to come into the company. And when those creators finally came over, it made these factions within DC because he started protecting those new creators. And it was really depolarizing as far as, the atmosphere there at DC. Have you heard about any of this stuff?
A little bit. It's kind of hit or miss because some creators will say they really liked him. And some will say, he gave me my shot. And then there's some ones that just don't like him. And I think that it's probably can be said pretty much about everybody, to be honest.
True.
The bottom line is I look at it like this. I have no clue what went on behind closed doors.
No.
And nobody really does. The main thing is if they're not making money and if the board of directors aren't happy, there's going to be a change. And that's what happened.
Right.
They're not making enough money or turning a profit that they want to see, and they want to make a change. And with the change that they make, they hope can turn that around.
Right.
There's a lot of wheels in motion. And there's a lot of people involved. And not everyone on board, is like all 100% like, oh, comic books. They're owned by a company that does a lot more than just comic books.
That's right.
Okay. And they got to look at the bottom line and what part of our company is making more money and what should we invest our time into. If there's part of the company that's not making a lot of money, their heads are going to roll,
right?
In comparison to other parts in the company. Now, whether they look at that and say, you know what, do we want to stick in that business? Is that something we want to do? I don't know if that question is being asked, but I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't.
Well, and that's the thing that bothers me, and the thing that makes me most concerned. Yeah. Is the fact that this is not Time Warner we're talking about. This is not Warner Brothers we're talking about. This is AT&T, multi-billion-dollar company who owns them now. And from what I understand, Dan DiDio, he went straight to the top with this whole 5G idea, and they signed off on it.
Yeah.
He was so strong about it, and they so believed in it, they signed off. But from what I understand, that polarization within the company, there were people who are just like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Marvel tried to do kind of the same thing and rebooting everything with brand new characters, and it went very bad for them. And so here you have some creators that are saying, no, this is the same type of thing that's going to happen here if you do this to the DC universe. One being Scott Snyder. And so much, being against it, Scott Snyder actually pulled, Dark Knight's medal and said, you're not touching this. This is not going to be part of the 5G thing. And so you have the AT&T who has signed off on this 5G thing, and then you got polarization within the company, and AT&T is basically who are the ones that fired him.
Yeah.
And so now, what do you make from that? And we're going to get into the 5G stuff in just a minute, but it seemed like they took the person who was the biggest purporter of the direction that they're going, and AT&T is the one who let them go. So it's kind of misleading.
It is. It's way above my pay grade.
Yeah, that's true.
It really is. I've listened to some stuff about it, and I try to decipher what's real and what's not. And it's really hard to do because there's a lot of speculation about what's going on. Honestly, I don't think it's just going to end with him. I think he's just one of the pieces that's out the door. I think there's probably going to be more as time goes on. I
think Bob Harris should be concerned.
Yeah. Jim Lee.
Jim Lee's a possibility, but I think he's more of a face.
Yeah. here's the thing: when you have your titles and your two big guns are Superman and Batman, and Superman is really underperforming.
Yeah, there's that
extremely underperforming, and then not only is it underperforming sales wise, but it's underperforming critically wise. People just don't like it.
Yeah,
and then you have Batman, who is starting to rebound, but it was always like a #1 seller on the charts. It dropped
big time.
It dropped a lot, and that's their marquee title.
Right.
And it's used to be the #1 selling book from all books.
Right.
And now it's not. It dropped down a little bit. I don't know if it's on its way up or something like that. But we're not selling millions of copies of books. We're only selling like 100,000 copies.
Right. And again, what happened, we don't know. But the thing that I think as comic collectors, as lovers of this hobby, the main thing that we need to be concerned about is the fact that AT&T is not a comic book company.
Yeah.
The comics industry only brings in about $2 billion a year, right? DC owns only 24% of that. And so when you look at that, that's only $500 million a year.
Yeah.
And they don't keep that $500 million. And then that's what the industry brings in. They keep about half of that, and they still got to pay everybody. And so you have a multi-billion-dollar company who's looking at a basically peanuts when it comes to their bottom line. And if because of this whole thing, if they really underperform, what happens if AT&T just says, okay, cut them?
I don't think they'd ever cut it. I think they would just license it out. It's something worth money. And like I said, it's a corporation. They want to make money. So as far as cutting them, they might cut them, but they would license it out to someone else.
Yeah, but this is what industry professionals are saying, that if AT&T makes a move like that, weekly and monthly comics would go away. The license would be to creators to do like trade paperbacks, and the distilling of the characters would happen. In other words, it doesn't matter who's writing it. It would always be the same on that character. You'd never get different types of or iterations of Batman. It would always be the same Batman going forward. But to get rid of weekly comics, that is a huge thing that we need to be concerned about.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line, Diamond is, they're barely staying on top. You lose 24% of your business. That's something to be concerned about, and it's concerning me.
I think it's a concern for everything, because I think competition is important.
Yeah.
And you need competition to keep yourself on your toes. I mean, as much as Marvel's #1, they need competition out there. And DC is their competition, and Marvel is DC's competition. It makes you a better publisher. If there's nobody to compete against, you don't try as hard.
Right.
I mean, that's a scenario you can put in the wrestling scenario. And I know this is going back to the 90s, but I was a big, huge WWF fan. It was really good. And then they had their competition, the WCW, and it was really good for a long time. And then WCW decided they don't want to make wrestling anymore.
Yeah,
Turns like, I'm done. And so WWF bought WCW, and the product suffered because they didn't have competition every week to keep them going.
Right.
Now, I say that because DC is the biggest other player besides Marvel, and then there's some other ones behind that, and there's still competition out there. But if you take out someone who has 25% of the market and you have 35% of the market, that's a big competition that's not in the market anymore.
Absolutely. So. And, and there is that small rumor out there that, Kevin Feige is going to take over DC. I don't think that'll ever happen, but, you
never know. I mean, it's stranger things that happen, and I mean, I never thought I'd be going to a Disneyland park and going to a Star Wars theme or or Mickey Mouse hanging out with Spider-Man, but it's happening.
It's happening.
I mean, you never really know, and time will tell. And who knows? A month from now, this all might not mean a thing, and everything's the same as it always is.
That's right.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
So that right there is the news about Dan DiDio, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that going forward. Before we go on to our next piece, let's go ahead and check in with the chat and see who's here. We definitely have. I think there we go. Ben, Derek came in. Perry says DC Comics, what's up with that? And he also says trust in Liefeld. Let's see, Two Gun, DC is a mess right now. I agree. Man Bear Pig, how you doing there, buddy? Thanks for popping in. He
I
says,
was so happy somebody shared Liefeld's Instagram, so I actually got to watch it.
no, dude.
'Cause I can't watch it directly, but somebody
no.
shared it, so I actually got to watch him going off on that Dan guy and stuff. It was interesting.
That's funny. I didn't know that you. I mean, since you're blocked, I didn't even realize. You couldn't see it other ways. And so we got Sam Fett. He's in the chat. How you doing, Sam? He says, if they screw up the Flash, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not liking what I'm hearing about 5G. Well, that's our next news item. We'll get into that in just a second.
Flash 750. I wonder, 750 comes out next week.
Yeah.
I wonder if Joshua Williamson is pissed about that. He's been on Flash from issue 1.
Right.
Okay. And I know he's going for that 100.
Oh, that's right.
And now they're taking away the numbering and they're going to legacy numbering. So he's going to go from issue, I don't know, he was 89 to 750.
Right.
To where he was, that was the first book that I thought would get to 100 issues as far as a relaunch that was relaunched a few years ago.
Right.
There's another one, I think, but it's really close. But they changed out the Wonder Woman or whatnot.
Right.
So, but I wonder what his opinion on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting to hear because I mean I know he was really going for that.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. NWI Geek says maybe AT&T doesn't like the 5G and the only way to get rid of it was to fire Dan. That would be their excuse not to publish it. That's a good point.
I haven't heard, like you said, I haven't heard a lot of people excited about 5G. It's not been like, oh man, I can't wait for 5G. It's all been like, man, that 5G's coming.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, a lot of people that we haven't heard from in a long time in comics
Yeah.
have started to come out of the woodwork to give their opinion on it. And I think that may be a possibility that swayed some opinion.
Yeah. But honestly, there's not a tremendous amount of excitement coming out of DC. If it's not a Black Label, and if it's not a miniseries, the regular titles, just the regular rundown, the Batman, a little more Batman right now, obviously, because of the new character.
Mm-hmm.
But Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, I don't hear too much excitement about those. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation because the way that it's going right now, something needs to happen. So the guy's like, oh, we'll do this event, and that's something. But now people don't seem to want that either. So I don't know what they're supposed to do.
Exactly. House to the End, he's in the chat. He says, we'll never really know. We're a fly on the wall. What we collectors need to pay attention to is what the quality of the new stories will be. I would agree. And so that's our next piece of news. It is 5G. AT&T, the only announcement that they've really made, they haven't really talked about Dan DiDio, but they have mentioned that the 5G will be happening going forward. Because that was the first question that came up when he was let go is, are they going to go forward with it? So, I mean, first of all, do you know what 5G is?
Well, I know a little bit. Why don't you kind of get a little bit more detail? Because I know they're just basically redoing a bunch of stuff.
That's basically it, and they've done that traditionally. So G1 was what they considered Generation Zero. Or sorry, there's Generation Zero, which was a free comic book day special issue release set. Oh, sorry. Generation Zero is something that's coming up, but the way it went is like this. Generation 1 was the emergence of Wonder Woman, the first superhero during World War I.
Yeah.
Generation 2 was the first appearance of Superman, right? Action Comics way back when. Generation 3 was basically from Crisis on Infinite Earths up to Flashpoint in 2011. Generation 4 is where we're at currently in the real world timeline.
From the New 52 onto the Rebirth?
Onto the Rebirth, right? And Generation 5 is where it's basically taking place in the future, where the Legion of Superheroes adventures take place. All of our main characters, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, Superman, they're all old and gone, and new characters have taken their place.
Yeah, a new Batman.
A new Batman.
A new everything.
Yeah, I mean, the Flash is actually the grandson of Captain Cold.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, all brand new characters, a complete reboot without your mainstays that have been there for the last 75 years. Right?
That's weird.
It's just very weird, isn't it? But that's what they're calling 5G. And of course, I mentioned Generation Zero. That's a free comic book day special issue that is set for release this May that lays the groundwork for 5G.
So what was the tie-in with the Doomsday Clock? I thought the Doomsday Clock had some kind of tie-in with that.
I think because of the fact that
is it reset? Is that what it was with the Dr. Manhattan resets everything or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because it's not clear. It's just not clear.
Yeah.
And but you know, they just came out with the Legion of Superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Michael Bendis writing it. That doesn't seem to have any tie-in, even though they're saying that that's where this is going to take place.
Wasn't the first thing that Wonder Woman 750 said had a little bit to do with it?
There was a mention of it.
A mention of it.
And there wasn't even supposed to be that mention, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's very kind of weird how they have laid this out. It starts this May, but it's supposed to be completely rolled out in 2021.
Hmm.
And that's when this whole, you know, reboot is just supposed to basically happen. Like you, I haven't heard a single person who is excited about this, who wants it. I don't know about you, but if you know, my two favorite characters in the DC universe is Batman and the Flash. I don't want another Batman besides Bruce Wayne unless it's Dick Grayson or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to see somebody else besides Barry or Wally taking up the Flash mantle. I just don't. And that's the same for other characters as well. I mean, we've lived with these characters. I have all my life. And it makes me nervous when they say we're going to completely get rid of them and reboot the whole thing. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that there are a couple things. I like the fact when I think about a clean slate, that interests me a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. Just a clean slate, you know, and I've always talked about how difficult sometimes it is to get into a character that you're not too familiar with, or you are familiar with, but you haven't been reading the book for a long time because there's so much backstory involved. So the clean slate kind of interests me. But the truth of the matter is, you're never going to replace those characters, no matter what. So all it is just literally a filler for a while before they go, we'll bring them back.
Right.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Because name one character that you've been able to replace with an equal or better version of that character without having to bring the other character back. Right. I mean, there's more than one Spider-Man right now. There's Miles Morales. That's a popular character, but he didn't replace Spider-Man.
No, not at all.
For a little while, and then Spider-Man's right back up and running. All this is just a placeholder with these new characters that more than likely maybe one will hit, and the rest of the 15 or 20 or whatever be like, oh crap, give me back the old stuff that I want.
Sure.
And I think it's just them taking a break. Now, if it's a great story and gets it going, that'll be good, but if you don't care about the character, it doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
Like, you got to care about that character. We're invested in Bruce Wayne or Clark Kent or Wonder Woman or Flash or whatever, the original characters that we grew up with. They're mainstays. They've been around for hundreds of years. I don't know. But to replace those characters and not do anything with them is stupid. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Make new characters.
Right, that's my thing.
New characters with original powers, original names. I mean, give it a shot. I mean, to their credit, they tried with the New Age, and it's hard to do. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
It's traditionally been hard.
Yeah.
How many new characters have you seen comic book companies try to launch?
There's less than a dozen names in the last probably 30 years.
How many of the original Image Comics characters do you still see today? Two, right? Yeah. Out of Marvel 2099, right? I mean, they've rebooted some of those, but how many of those have been around since they launched that?
Yeah.
None. You know, and you know, there's track record behind all this. Trying to launch new characters is a very hard thing in comics, and if they think they're going to take their whole line and reboot it, I think it's ludicrous. It's mad.
Yeah, I think that. I think the sales figures, and I don't know for a fact, but from what I understand, at least most people will say they really enjoy Black Label stuff.
Yeah. That
seems to be something everyone's picking up. Black Label comes out, the prestige format, whatever it is, seems to be something that people are always buying.
Right.
Those are popular. Those are small little miniseries. The other ones that are coming out, like Deceased and stuff like that, people are really enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
the horror comics that are coming out, the Joe Hill ones,
The Hill House.
Hill House, yeah, those seem to be what people are enjoying.
Sure.
That's what I hear the most of right now.
Yeah.
Stick with what works, put some more money and time into those, and then build your regular characters and just do it better.
Absolutely. I mean, what I've been seeing in the last year, it's been the first time in a long time that I've actually gotten kind of excited about some of the DC stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
I've loved the Black Label stuff. Batman definitely started taking off in a direction that I liked. I have loved, the run by Williamson on the Flash, and they've got some writers that have been putting out some really good content. Now they got some duds, and again, I love Brian Michael Bendis's work, but he's tanked since he's been there. And so they got some stuff that's really subpar. But if you're exactly right, look at what's working, stick with that, and build upon it.
Yeah.
This reboot is it's beyond me.
I'm not interested in it at all. I saw about it. I heard about like the new, isn't like the new Batman, like Lucius Fox's son or
something like that.
Something like that. I mean, I might check it out, but more than likely, will I be invested in that character? No.
Right.
Not at all. And a new, it just doesn't interest me. I'd rather them just reboot with the regular characters and do something good.
Right.
I think, I mentioned Doomsday Clock. I think that hurt them a lot.
It did hurt them a lot.
I think that book, with all the crap that went on, with all the delays, and literally, for a book that's a 12-issue series, and it was supposed to be a really huge event for them. And the books did really well. Don't get me wrong. They sold a lot when they came out.
They did come out.
But it literally came out. It took a 3-year span for it to complete. I think it came out, what was it? It was like the very, very end of 17, 18, and 19.
Yeah. And about halfway through 2018, I just dropped it.
Yeah. So, it was such a big book for them, and it just crapped out. And people, like I said, people enjoyed it, but they were trying to launch something off that, and you can't build momentum, and that book's only coming out every 3 months.
Yeah. I don't want to see a full reboot. What I'd rather see them do is take, the books that are not selling very well, cut those, right?
Yeah.
And go ahead and start your new universe with these new characters, but don't get rid of the old ones.
Yeah.
Have these new books come out and see if people like them and test the waters and go forward with it. Right?
Sam Fett has a good response, and actually that's something that I had mentioned. It says, just a question, before movies are at least 10 minutes of the previews, why can't the comic book movie advertise the comic books it's based on? That would help sales. I think that's actually something I yelled at. I yelled at Marvel and DC. I don't know if they saw that part, but I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Makes sense,
It does. It really does. And every once in a while they come out with a preview, but it's not how it should be. For sure. Let's check in with the chat here real quick. We got Perry says Rob Liefeld to run DC, things will get better. Let's see. House of the End says, I just hope comics don't become an advertisement for their movies and TV shows. That's already happening.
That's kind of what they are.
Yeah.
Every comic has an advertisement for a TV show or movie that's correlated to the comic, and it's not vice versa. Every TV show or movie does not have advertisements for comics, and it should.
It should. Absolutely should. And WI Geek says Wonder Woman be in the first superhero works great for the movies, but for comics, it's Superman. We all know it. I agree. Let's see. Gore, how you doing, Gore? Gore Vidal's in here. He said, why couldn't the 5G be restricted to Legion of Superheroes and everyone else remain the same? Why uproot every other major title? Is that what DC's planning to do? It seems like that's exactly what they're going to do.
A separate event, I would be down with.
I would too. I think,
but to replace your characters,
that's ridiculous.
I don't want that. Why not do a separate event? They had some success with their separate events last year and the year before, and it worked out good. And if it's strong enough, if they do a separate event that's going along with their current stuff, and that separate event is successful, then build off that limited event. If you do a 12-issue run about this 5G thing and it's all these characters, and you got a couple characters in there that people are asking for more of, then you do another series with those.
Absolutely.
It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science.
But I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never written a comic book.
There we go. We got God Tank is in the chat. How you doing, buddy? He says, hello, Mr. Roadhouse. And my man, Bob. How's it going, my friend?
Have you been watching God Tank's videos?
I have not yet.
I gotta give the guy credit.
Yeah?
He's doing a really good job.
That's awesome. I
Really
will
good job.
definitely check it out.
He just started doing it, but it doesn't seem like he has. It seems like he's been doing it for a while.
Right.
Likeable guy.
Sorry I haven't watched him yet. I was just catching up on some other people's channels. I watched a bunch of Hero and the Kid this week and a few others, but I will get to him, God Tank. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. House to the End says they also said you'll get regular continuities characters and maybe Black Label. I think they're testing the waters to be able to raise prices of books and see if people will go for it. Well, they're constantly doing that.
More Black Label, I'll take it.
Yeah, I will too.
The more, if they come out with that, if they were all Black Label stuff from DC, I'd be okay with like little small 3 to 4 issue mini runs of books. I actually enjoy those. I enjoy a beginning and an end, and to know where you're going.
Absolutely. Self-contained stories or one-shots. I love them. Absolutely. Let's see. Scarpad, how you doing, man? He says, change for the sake of change is never good. I agree. Mike Rogers is here. How you doing, Bell? How you doing, buddy?
Well, Mike.
Samuel David's here. Thanks for popping in. Let's see. We got John's Comics with Kids are here. How you doing, man? And the immortal Biggie Shack. What's up, Biggie? Come on, man. It's good to see you. Let's see. God Tank says, no excuses, Bob. Get to watching them.
Yeah, man.
Y'all sub up everybody. I have definitely subbed you, but
what the hell's your problem?
I know, huh? Give me a break. Give me a break. If I missed anybody in the chat, I'm sorry. I'm not good at the chat yet, but I'll get there.
I watch a ton of videos.
Do you?
People don't realize how much stuff I watch because mainly I watch it on my television.
Right.
So I don't comment a lot.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I watch quite a bit.
That's how I watch them as well.
Yeah.
I watch them on my TV.
Yeah, right.
But I do have a full-time job. I do work after hours as well, and I'm trying to do this wonderful hobby.
Man,
so
you got those excuses all lined up. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. And
you got a little memo on your phone. Excuses why I can't watch YouTube.
Go. Yep, there it is, right there.
Jesus.
So we're going to go ahead and on to our next news item. This will be the last news item for tonight. But it's been announced that Kevin Smith is doing a anime version of Masters of the Universe. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I saw the lineup for the voice actors. Pretty sure Mark Hamill is in there.
He is. I actually have the lineup here, and I'm going to read them. But the lineup that he has is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, some amazing talent.
Can I do a little side story really quick?
Sure.
Okay. This has nothing to do with this thing, but it's kind of cool. One of my friends that I went to high school with, he passed away just like a month ago.
Oh, wow, man.
And he had really bad cancer. And you might have known him. He was part of the Star Wars cosplay group and stuff. And
oh, wow.
They had that drive-up coffee stand over by the Bomber on the block.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he was part of that. I can't remember whether 411 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he drove a Charger with a Ghostbuster symbol on the side.
I've seen that.
Okay. Unfortunately, he passed away. He had cancer. He has actually fighting cancer.
I remember seeing that.
It was on news and actually went worldwide.
Yeah. Big
Star Wars fan. Before the new Star Wars movie came out, he wanted to see it. Okay, and it wasn't out for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. They did a private screening in his house.
Yeah.
They came and they brought a copy from Disney, brought a copy for him to watch, because they knew that he only had a few days to live and the movie wasn't going to hit for a couple weeks. The entire cast of Star Wars made personal video messages to him, thanking him for everything he's done.
That's amazing.
Not only that, but Mark Hamill did the same thing.
Really?
Sent him a private video message saying, thank you so much, for all your support. Talk to him by name. I'm not saying his name for a reason, but it was just like a 10-minute thank you from Mark Hamill to my friend for all the stuff he's done for charity work and all that stuff. And he got to see all that before he passed away.
Wow.
But my hat's off to those actors for doing that. They didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of a really cool thing. I actually saw the video that Mark sent him. My buddy showed it to me. But really cool to see that. So when I thought about Mark Hamill, I wanted to share that story. So
That's amazing. That's
kind
amazing.
of kind of cool thing that they did for him.
For sure. I have kind of a funny Mark Hamill story. Now, some of you know I used to have a pretty shady past. At one point in my life, I did work for one of the largest bookmaking operations on the West Coast. And I was a collector. And I used to actually collect at a comic shop. There were these two guys that ran the comic shop. One of them, basically, he was this Jewish guy, and his buddy was Italian, and they used to run an insurance business out of the back of the comic shop. And so both of them did sit there and they make bets all day long. Mm-hmm. And so I'd go over there and I'd collect from them. And they used to talk about it, and these guys, they're long dead. So
they're long dead.
They are. Both of them are.
Swimming with the fishes.
One was named Joe. One was named Myron. They used to say that if Joe couldn't get it for you wholesale, Myron steal it for you. Right. Anyway, but I used to go collect from them, and just so happens in the same comic shop, Mark Hamill used to come in there to get his comics weekly.
Oh, wow.
And I'd heard that, he'd come. Now, here I am trying to be the tough guy, right? And on behind the scenes, I'm this huge geek,
yep.
Right? And so I'm collecting the one day, and I go out the door and open it, and there's Mark Hamill standing right there, and I'm like, and I had to step back, man, because I couldn't be all geeked out and be tough with these guys at the same time.
Hey, man. Let your geek flag fly, right?
Exactly. But it was just one of those moments where it caught me off guard. And I've always laughed about it for years. So.
That's good stuff.
But yes, he is in it. He's got a long relationship with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to be doing the voice of Skeletor, which I think is great.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the actual lineup.
So is it CGI animation or is
it's going to be animated?
Okay.
So I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I'm an anime fan. I've never liked the cinematic presence of anime, how it kind of moves and stuff. It always kind of a little blocky. I've always noticed. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they do that. I don't know if I'm too interested in it.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm not an anime fan. I'm not a fan of all of it. There are some that are absolutely amazing.
I've tried watching some stuff. I watched. Quite a few. I really never. I've been like, I can't stand this.
To each his own. Everybody has their opinion. Yeah. It's just something you don't like. Like I said, I don't like all of it, but there are some that I definitely get into. I definitely like that anime version of Batman. I thought that was great. Have you seen that?
Is it like the anime one, or just like the animated?
No, it's anime.
Because when I think anime, I'm thinking about Japanese anime.
Yeah,
that's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I probably like it.
I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but I actually enjoyed it.
I tried.
But yeah, so it's gonna be anime. I don't know if I really am into that for this. I think it's a bold move. So before I get into who these actors are, just a quick question: were you a fan of Masters of the Universe?
The Dolph Lundgren one.
The Dolph Lundgren one.
I really enjoyed that movie. Mm-hmm. I was a little kid when I saw it. I loved it because it was the Russian from Rocky,
right?
But and Punisher. But I watched the animated series, and it was okay, but it was a little hokey in comparison to the G.I. Joe or the Transformers that were out there, and so it was. I watched it, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I have to say this. I don't know if it was because of our age range, but when the Master of the Universe came out, it just didn't grab me. I thought the same thing. It was kind of hokey. I just thought, every time I would watch it, I'm like, oh, there's another toy. There's another toy.
I had the toys. I had the toys, yeah.
But I always liked the character Skeletor.
Manny Faces.
Yeah, Manny Faces. There you go.
I think I still have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. But I am interested in a reboot. I'm interested to see it with where I'm at now.
They rebooted it a few years back.
They really?
I actually have set up.
Really?
I picked it up for like a couple bucks one time. I never watched any of them, but it's like all that.
So you don't know if it's any good?
I never watched it. It was like $3 or $4. Yeah. I was like, oh, what's this? And I think I remember seeing a commercial for it, and the animation looked pretty good. but I never watched it. So,
Well, if you ever do, let me know.
well, we can watch it together.
There you go.
Well, Saturday morning cartoons.
Hey, Saturday morning cartoons.
Two middle-aged dudes hanging out. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
You put the He-Man Masters of the Universe on, and I'll bring over the Schoolhouse Rock to put in between, right?
I'll bring my Manny Faces doll.
There you go. But check out, this is the lineup. This is the voice acting lineup. We got Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
Yep.
We have Lena Headey, who is Cersei on Game of Thrones. She's playing Evil Lynn. Then we have Chris Wood, who is Manel. Mon-El in the Supergirl series. He's the one that's actually playing He-Man. Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy herself. She's playing Teela. Then we have Stephen Root. Anybody know who Stephen Root is? I love this guy.
Yeah.
Remember Office Space?
Yeah.
He's the guy that played Milton. Love that character.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Have you watched Barry on the HBO?
I don't know.
No, he's in that too. It's really, really, really good.
He was the boss on News Radio.
I don't know if I've seen News Radio.
I don't know.
There we go. Anyway, he plays Cringer.
Is he the stapler guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
he was the boss on News Radio.
Okay. Liam Cunningham, he played Davos in Game of Thrones. Love that guy. He's going to be Man at Arms. I think that's apt.
Who's playing Grildor?
I probably
nobody.
There's more actors.
Grildor was from the movie. I think that's what the name was. Grildor, the little thing. Little elf thing, whatever it was.
Right.
Playing the flute or whatever. I don't know what it was.
Right. I have no idea.
Nobody does.
There we go. We have Dietrich Bader, who has done the voice of Batman and some animated stuff. He plays Trapjaw.
Yeah.
Tiffany Smith, who's in Supernatural, she plays Andra.
When's this coming out?
I don't have the actual release date yet. Oh. Henry Rollins of Black Flag fame. He's going to play Troy Klops.
Troy Klops.
Oh. And then we got Alan Oppenheimer, who played Skeletor in the original series. Yeah. He's going to play Moss Man. We want you to come back.
I like Moss Man.
But you're going to be playing Moss Man. Yeah. We got Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
She's going to be Queen Marlena.
Jace, huh? You know the toys never fit through the door. Stupid.
I know.
They never fit through the damn door. How could you have a Castle Grayskull and not have the figures be able to go through the door?
Marketing.
Dumb.
You got Jason Mewes for Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. He plays Stinkor. Or Stinkor.
Stinkor.
There we go.
That's a skunk character.
Right. Yeah, only Jay from that group. Tony Todd, Mr. Candyman himself.
Smells kind of skunky in here.
Tony Todd, Mr. Candyman.
Yeah.
He's playing Scarglow. Then we got Kevin Michael Richardson. I don't know who that is. Kevin Conroy, Mr. Batman himself, is going to play Merman.
Nice.
And then Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, will be playing Ileana. I mean, it's a pretty amazing voice lineup if you really think about it. I mean, bringing all those guys together. I mean, is this something that you're going to watch? You're excited about? Anything?
No, I'm a grown man.
You're a grown man, right? Yeah, but you'll anyway.
Have fun with your cartoon.
Yeah, I may check it out just because of the talent that's in it. I'd be very interested in hearing Mark Hamill play Skeletor.
You're gonna binge watch it, I know.
No, I won't.
It's like,
I probably
that's
won't.
what I'm doing Friday night. Watching season 1, part 1.
I do binge watch stuff, but I don't know.
Get your little sword out.
I haven't even watched all of Lock and Key yet.
Well, that's not a cartoon. That's an actual
show.
But
I mean, I binge watch stuff.
I don't know. Tell you. You and your cartoons.
Me and my cartoons.
Priorities.
Right.
How's She-Ra? You gonna watch that one too?
Nope.
You should. You love it.
Nope.
It's right up your alley.
But I am kind of sad that we're not getting some of those other Marvel shows, right? The animated ones. We were supposed to get a Dazzler and Tigra show. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Dazzler was in that last X-Men movie.
She was. Fun. That was fun. Did you like that last X-Men movie?
No.
No. It had many flaws, right?
It was just forgettable.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what happened.
It's too bad. That's too bad.
What are you gonna do?
So that's pretty much it for the news.
I thought we were talking about the deleted scene.
We were, but we're at an hour already.
I don't care. It's your show.
You want to talk about the deleted scene?
Not now. We're at an hour already.
Which deleted scene are you talking about?
It's deleted. I can't remember.
Right. So
No, it was the one with Spider-Man in Infinity War.
Right. What did you think about that deleted scene?
I'm glad it's deleted.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think that it was interesting to watch, but the whole Spider-Man has to go grab their souls because their souls are detached from their bodies. And
see, I didn't take it that way.
How would he be able to grab souls? Is he a soul grabber?
No, you see that's the thing. People are talking about the fact that he grabs souls. I didn't take it that way. If you look at the scene, he's basically grabbing their bodies because they have lower gravity, so they're floating out there. So he's using that just like he did in the movie, right? He went to go save them all because they were all getting knocked out by Thanos, and he's bringing them down. It's Mantis who's actually coming over using her power, bringing the soul back in. And so I never thought in that scene that Peter can grab souls, even though some of the video commentary I've heard from people are saying that that's what he was told to do, is grab their souls.
Grab their souls.
I never took it that way. If you watch the scene, he's actually grabbing them as they're floating, their bodies, bringing them down, and then Mantis is using her power to. If you look when she touches Drax, you see this kind of shimmering that comes back to him. I took that as his soul coming back. Love that part when he's like, "Get your face away from me because it's making me sick." I love that. But I thought it was a cool concept. I thought it was a cool scene. Should it have been the movie? Maybe not. It didn't need to be there. But
the whole him just Thanos detaching their souls.
Right.
What is that all about?
Well, I mean,
I'm Thanos. Instead of just killing you, I'm just going to take your souls out.
Well,
come on.
That whole battle scene was supposed to be him getting used to the gauntlet, using each of the stones. And that's why he uses each of the stones throughout the battle, and he's getting used to using them all at once. And so he does combine a few of them as he's battling. That's what the whole thing was about. And so if he's using the soul stone, and that's what he's doing, he's basically separating their souls. I could see that technically happening. I just think it was a little more complicated than it needed to be for the scene.
Dump it.
There you go.
Delete it. It's deleted.
I liked it though.
Yeah, you like weird things.
I do like weird things, especially when it comes to Marvel stuff.
You and your cartoons and stuff.
Yeah. Saturday morning in the pajamas watching the cartoons.
At least you're wearing something.
There you go.
That's more than I can say for Sam.
For Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
Love you, Sam. And then we had one other deleted scene, which was the King Thor scene. What'd you think of that one?
I don't know. I watched a little bit of it, and it was kind of confusing. There was a clip of it where Loki is like standing on the throne with the hammer and stuff above, with a big headpiece and stuff. I thought that looked kind of cool. I would like to see that, but the rest of the stuff was mainly just Thor waking up and his dad talking to him and stuff. So
yeah. I didn't think it was all that great of a scene. I mean, we've already seen a bunch of deleted scenes where they tried to make him king, and I don't think it worked, so I'm glad they brought it out. But I did like the Loki scene with the hammer. That's supposed to be a dream sequence when he's in prison, him, thinking of himself as being king already, which I think that fits the character. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, as they come out with more and more deleted scenes, it's very interesting to me to see all the different angles that they were taking that they actually scrapped, but they had actually filmed.
Yeah.
And I think that's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
did you pick up Hell Risen?
I did pick up Hell, but I already had it in my pull list.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Right.
So I got both Hell Risen. And then of course I got the 89 the week before. And I just feel bad for those people that were buying copies of Hell Arisen as if it was a first full appearance and paying a lot of monty for it.
You don't think it's her first full appearance?
She's
on like 5 panels.
She's on 5 panels.
What does it take? What the hell?
We've had this discussion already.
No, not this discussion.
Yes, we have.
How many panels do you have to be a first appearance?
For the definition that they're going by is the fact that they have to be integral to the story, be part of the story.
She's part of the story.
For 5 panels.
Man, picky.
James Tynion has confirmed that it's actually going to be Batman 92 that's your first full appearance.
Let him write history. Really? How could? Oh my God!
He's writing the history of that character.
ridiculous. I mean, she's in one panel in the Batman 89. I get it. You just see her face.
Right.
She's
Not even
in
her whole face.
multiple panels on different pages in this book.
Right.
And nope, not in her first appearance.
Yeah.
Dumb.
So I think that was said that Batman 92 would be her first full appearance, and that the anniversary issue for the Joker, I think, is going to be her origin story that's going to be coming out.
Give me a break.
I read it.
I bet you did. Did she say anything in there?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Let's see here.
He's got to prove it.
Look at this. 1, 2, 3.
3 panels.
There's 3, 4, 5. 5 panels. No,
technically 6. If you take it back.
6. There you go. Apparently, that's not enough for you. You know what?
What do you mean, me?
You just said.
I'm just giving you the news, man.
Man, you know what? Ridiculous. 5 panels does not equal first appearance. Technically 6.
Right.
God, man.
Well, I'm just going off of what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, we each have our own minds.
This is true. Are you going to be picking up any of those books?
Which one?
The Batman number 92.
It's on my pull list. I always get it.
How about the Joker anniversary issue? Have you got that on your pull list already?
Well, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like, they did the Batman's 1000, Flash 750 one. There's supposed to be a Joker centric one.
Yeah. No, I think that if it's on my pull list, I get it. And that 92 issue there's going to be a lot of those out there because stores are still taking orders on those.
Yeah.
And I can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be a huge seller.
For sure.
So for people thinking 92 is a first appearance, it's going to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy. It's going to be one of the most mass-produced books in the last few years if they're still doing orders on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
our shop is still doing orders. I went in there last night and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can order as many as you want."
Yeah, they got a big advertisement on it. So
give me a break.
Understood.
6 panels doesn't make a first appearance.
So let's check in with the chat
This
here
guy's
really
on
quick.
My show. God.
Oh, let's see. I can't go all the way back here. We got God Tank says that he has a few Transformers. Let's see. Biggie Shack says, I want to get G1 Astro Train at Walmart. I have no idea what that means, brother. Let's see here. We got Scarpad says, come here, you make Star Blazers. Star Blazers was an amazing show. I remember that. Silverhawks was good. God Tank. Here in the kid says, I just hope they give Skeletor some good catchphrases. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Live action Voltron. Jean-Claude brings that out. I'd love to see a live action Voltron. Of course, they pretty much tanked with the Power Rangers live action. That wasn't as good as it should have been.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Did you go? Yeah, you saw it.
I did see it.
I could tell.
Yeah,
I knew you. Well, I know you have a crush on that guy from Stranger Things.
What?
The bad guy from Stranger Things, the kid. So that you probably wanted to go watch him in the Power Ranger outfit.
Oh, that's check this guy out, man. Man, you're talking smack now.
It's morphin' time.
Right. Two brothers. How you doing, man? He says, what's your thoughts on the Matina tracing and stealing others' artwork? I've heard that, I still think he's a great artist. I don't know.
Funky Cold Matina?
Funky Cold Matina. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of definite points where you can see that but I think the whole industry does that. I've
always looked at it to where, because I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
There's only so many poses you can do.
This is true.
I mean, this is artwork. There's hundreds of books that come out every week, and it's the human form, and there's only so many different poses you can do before they look similar, to be honest.
Right.
And, if you look at someone's artwork and like, oh, I'm going to draw a picture with my thing, I don't know. If there wasn't millions and millions of reference points, then, nobody would be saying anything.
Right.
But there's so much stuff out there. I mean, it's hard to come up with an original, drawing or pose that doesn't look like something else.
Right.
I can show you 3 Spider-Man books that look identical. I want to do it right now. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it right now.
All right, you go ahead and do that. Let's see. We got God Tank says, yep, they're saying her first full appearance is Hella Risen. That's not what I've heard. That's not what James Tinian has said or what they've advertised. Let's see. John's Comics with Kids says, thankfully the artists don't get to decide. Otherwise, we'd be dealing with Rob Liefeld and his Major X opinion still. That's good. Let's see. Batman 92 is just the first cover. Interesting. Go check out the news article with James Tinian. Mike Rogers, how you doing? Good to see you here. Two Brothers says, let's see, one way or another, just creating a conversation. Come on.
Okay, I've shown these before.
Have you?
Yes.
What do you got?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here is Amazing Spider-Man, number 134.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you a good look. Spider-Man, Tarantula. Okay.
Classic cover.
134, first appearance Tarantula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here is number 147. Okay. Here is Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 1.
It's the same cover.
Look. Here, hold one.
There we go.
Hold some up there. Here, hold that one too. See if we can get all three of them in there.
It's the same exact
Look
cover.
at that. Yeah, Matina. There you go. Enough said right there.
That's great.
It's been going on for a while.
That's true. It's true. But I do get excited for his covers when they come out. I think he has some of the hottest ones out there, and I'll continue to buy them. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he's got a cool nickname, Funky Cole Matina.
Funky Cole Matina.
Do you think he's heard that?
I hope he
has.
has.
Think it's got back to him?
I hope he has.
I coined that phrase. That's
I know
my
you
phrase.
did. I know.
That'd be awesome. One day I get to meet him. Funky Cole Matina. Oh, you're the guy.
Right. You'll be the Chris Berman of comic books. You know who that is?
No.
Chris Berman was a sportscaster on ESPN. He used to come up with names for people.
Oh, okay.
Right, like Burt Blyleven, the pitcher Burt Blyleven.
Mm-hmm.
He's all, and you call him Burt B. Home Blyleven, things like that.
Nice. Well, Matina lives, I think he's over in England or something like that.
Oh, is he?
I don't think he lives here in the States.
Yeah, it's very rare you see an appearance of him out here.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. Well, that's pretty much our show for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much for tuning in and for catching it on the replay. Before we go, Bueller, is there anything you'd like to tell our listeners?
I think I'm doing an auction this weekend. I think it's either Saturday or Sunday. I don't know for sure. It's one of those days. So it should be fun. And then obviously our coffee video on Monday. Mm-hmm. So it should be a good episode. That's the one we talk about the top 10 lists. So make sure you comment on that. I do want to say real quick, and this is kind of cool, and the cat's out of the bag right now, but our buddy Tom, Comic Tom 101, is working with CGC this weekend over at
Way to go, Tom.
And so he's going to be doing some coverage for them, mm-hmm. and it'll be on their Instagram and Facebook. So it's kind of cool to see one of our buddies, for here in the Pacific Northwest, working with them. I've known about it for a little while, and I know he's really nervous about doing this, and he's trying to do a good job for them. So
he'll do a great job.
Yeah, any support you guys can give him, that'd be great. Because he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. I'm sweating bullets. I don't know what to do and stuff. I'm like trying to calm him down and everything, and help him out. So any encouragement, if you're a Comic Tom fan or whatnot, go watch his post on CGC because it's on their stuff. And just give him some kind words. I think he deserves it because he's putting in some work this weekend.
Absolutely. That's awesome stuff. Thank you for bringing that up. Yep. And also on my channel, Everything Comics, we have the My Coffee and Comics show happening on Saturday morning. This Saturday, Sam from Sam's Tango Web is going to join me. He's going to guest host, and then we're going to do that before we go over to the Frankenstein comic book swap, which we're all going to be at. That's going to be amazing. I am also going to be doing a live stream with Robbie on his channel. He's going to be doing for comic content creators. His, what's your top 10 comics for the month?
I think I'm on there. I don't know.
I think you are
I
too.
think I am. I can't
And
remember.
I can't wait for that. That'll be Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So
Nice.
I'll be on that as well. And but hey, guys, thanks very much for joining us today and for watching. Appreciate you very much. Always remember, support your local comic shop and Excelsior. You guys take care.
Bye.